Let's leave it at that. We're shifting our focus now to tell you about how jailed gangster turned politician Mukhtar Ansari passed away yesterday. Doctors say he suffered from a cardiac arrest. Now, he had been found unconscious on Tuesday morning and had been referred to Banda Medical College, where he complained of constipation and pain in the abdomen. He was provided treatment and then discharged 15 hours later. On Tuesday itself, his brother Afzal Ansari, who's also the MP of Ghazipur, alleged that Mukhtar Ansari had been poisoned in jail. Mukhtar's lawyer even moved an application before a Barabanki court seeking a proper medical exam, alleging that he was being slowly poisoned by the Banda jail staff. Ansari's body will be handed over to his family after the post-mortem is conducted.
18 मार्च से उनकी काफ़ी तबीयत ख़राब चल रही थी। बार बार कहने के बावजूद कोई इलाज नहीं दिया जा रहा था। 25/26 की रात में तो काफ़ी तकलीफ़ हुई, तो उनको चंद घंटों के लिए मेडिकल कॉलेज लाए, फॉर्मेलिटी करके स्टेबल है कह के वापस कर दिया। महीनों पहले बात कही गई थी, लिख के दी गई थी माननीय उच्च न्यायालय को भी, सर्वोच्च न्यायालय को भी, कोई ध्यान नहीं दिया गया।
Now, a three-member team will conduct a magisterial investigation of his death. Security has been tightened across the state of Uttar Pradesh, with Section 144 being imposed. Ansari's son, Abbas, is lodged in Kasgan jail. Sources say he will be taken to Ghazipur amid heavy security. His family is likely to move the Allahabad High Court for his bail to attend the funeral of his father. Let's also tell you that the Samajwadi Party has expressed grief, saying that they hope his family gets the strength to bear the immense sorrow.
आज एक विशेष मामला ये है कि मुख्तार अंसारी की मृत्यु हो गई है जेल में। तो उनके बेटे अब्बास अंसारी कासगंज जेल में बंद हैं। तो अब दो विकल्प है उनको उनके जनाजे में शामिल कराने। एक तो शासन चाहे तो स्वयं भी कर सकता है, उनको कस्टडी मिले। दूसरा विकल्प जो है वो न्यायिक है। तो अदालत में जो भी न्यायिक हो सकता है विकल्प, उस पर हम प्रयास करेंगे। कोशिश ये होगी कि कम से कम जुडिशियल कस्टडी में उनको जनाजे में शामिल करा दिया जाए।
सरकार का कहना है कि हार्ट अटैक से डेथ हुई है। जब तक पोस्टमार्टम रिपोर्ट सामने नहीं आई थी तब तक हम कुछ ऑथेंटिकली कह नहीं सकते हैं, क्योंकि प्राइमा फेशिया ये हार्ट अटैक से डेथ लग नहीं रही है। 2 दिन पहले भी कोर्ट के अंदर एक एप्लीकेशन लग रही है, जिसके अंदर वहाँ पे उनके जो लोकल लॉयर हैं उन्होंने एप्लीकेशन लगा के बहुत सीरियस एलिगेशन लगाए थे प्रशासन के ऊपर कि इनको स्लो पॉइजन दिया जा रहा है। और कहीं ना कहीं प्रशासन की और जेल प्रशासन की दोनों तरफ से जो गवर्नमेंट है वहाँ पे और जो प्रशासन है जेल प्रशासन, इनकी ड्यूटी बनती थी कि उसको बड़ा डीपली जाके इन्वेस्टिगेट करते, और कहीं पर भी अगर ऐसा एलिगेशन आते तो इमीडिएटली सारा सराउंडिंग स्टाफ चेंज कर देना चाहिए था।
All right, those are of course all the reactions that we did here. That was also of Deepak Sharma, counsel for Ansari, who went on to state essentially that the government says he died of cardiac arrest, but we cannot say anything unless they receive the post-mortem report, that is. Let's also tell you in terms of what Ansari's brother had to say, that Ansari was unwell since a couple of days, and he also went on to state that he was sent back, and it was said that he was stable in terms of his medical treatment, but he was not given any treatment. In fact, on apprehensions, he did say that it was expressed months ago and was also given in writing to the High Court as well as Supreme Court, but no cognizance was taken. But remember over here, as far as the death is concerned, of course, doctors did state that he suffered a cardiac arrest. But at the same time, given the on-ground situation, let's tell you that Section 144 has been imposed. Security has been tightened across the state. But to better understand this, and also, of course, clearly politics that's playing out, I understand my guest is joining me this afternoon, Sharad Gupta, senior journalist. Mr. Gupta, I appreciate you taking the time out and joining us here this afternoon on Mirror Now. Let me begin by asking you this, in terms of the politics that has played out and the kind of statements that are coming, would you say it's, raising eyebrows in a sense?
Yeah, of course, the way the death has happened, it was not in normal circumstances. And already there were apprehensions, and his brother had complained that he was being given some kind of poison in the prison. So there were a number of things regarding Mukhtar Ansari's health concerns were being expressed, and he was under charge of a surgeon. That's what his brother Afsal had said. So, but and it's unfortunate. Any death inside the prison is unfortunate.
But Mr. Gupta, as you pointed out with the statements that are being made of allegations of foul play over here, of course, one has to wait for the postmortem report to come out. How would you look at that? Because, in the past couple of years as well, with the stories that we've heard in Uttar Pradesh, essentially what we're also seeing on ground in terms of heightened security now, that tells a picture in itself.
Yeah, actually, Mukhtar Ansari himself was a means dreaded criminal, like if I may say that. In fact, I met him inside the prison way back in 1994. He was contesting the assembly by-election from Ghazipur as an independent, and he was running his election campaign from inside the prison. That was so astonishing. He was sitting inside the jail superintendent's office. So, and ever since that, his name was always associated with gangsters and mafia leaders, means including the D Company. In fact, he was also accused in the murder of kidnapping and murder of Vishwa Hindu Parishad's treasurer, Nand Kishore Rungta. He had kidnapped Nand Kishore Rungta from his residence in Varanasi, took him to Allahabad, asked for 5 crore ransom, and out of that, I assume, means that's what my information was, that he had already been paid a substantial amount, but since the full amount was not there, so after that he was killed, and the body was never found because the body was cut into pieces and thrown into the Ganga. So he was a dreaded criminal.
In fact, looking at the visuals on our screens as well tells a lot. But Mr. Gupta, what would then explain political parties coming to the fore and making statements like they are? Because in fact, Akhilesh Yadav has gone on to state that Uttar Pradesh is going through anarchy after this particular episode. How would you read into a statement like that?
See, there are whenever there is a custodial death or the death inside the prison, whether it's of a gangster or of a saint, it's always unfortunate and requires a
Right.
complete inquiry. If you remember that Biscuit King Rajan, he died inside the prison, and that created a lot of furor about 2 decades back. So similarly, any person who is dying inside the prison raises question marks, especially when his relatives are already raising questions on over his deteriorating health and improper health treatment he was getting. So that speaks volumes about the state, the state government, and especially the jail administration's concern about the inmates' health. So if he was such a high-profile criminal, former MLA, former, so he needed to be given proper care, whatever he was, whether he was a criminal or a saint. But a man, it's the question of a human life. How can a human life be extinguished because of lack of proper health care? That is the question. So maybe that is the reason why political parties are coming out, or maybe because they want to capitalize on this particular issue, they want to politicize the issue. That's why they're expressing concern. But I may say so that Mukhtar Ansari was not a saint, not from even a pole's distance. He was a dreaded criminal who had ventured into politics, and he made a name for himself both in the political arena as well as in the area of crime.
Mr. Gupta, as you pointed out, you also said about human life. In fact, Alka Rai, the wife of Krishnanand Rai, who was brutally murdered, went on to say that this was justice that was finally served. But do you think when political statements like this are made, where they're questioning the timing of it, or rather the government as well in terms of this death, it's downplaying the lives of innocent lives rather who were killed?
That's right. He did kill. I never said that he did not kill. There were allegations, and maybe he was convicted in some cases. But in most of such cases where a dreaded criminal like him is involved, the witnesses tend to turn hostile because of the fear of their life. So that's why I always say that the witness protection program is a must in such cases. So maybe, but whoever is as a victim of such brutal killings, their relatives are bound to feel
Hmm.
that at least their relatives killer